Hey guys, Dave Womach here from BirdTricks, answering some of your questions about Tusa, our Camelot macaw. So the first question is there a reason why Tusa is more mine? Because I'm his favorite. That's why. Though, you know, sometimes birds just pick their favorite person, and naturally, I was his favorite person. So, Jamie does try to steal him by doing lots and lots of training, and we'll win him over for a little while, and then the moment she stops, he's all mine again. So, it goes the same way with the other birds too, you know, but most of them prefer her.
Tusa is primarily my husband's macaw. However, we still have a good relationship, right? We still do stuff. I just have to work a lot harder to be his BFF. So it takes a lot more effort on my part, whereas Dave, it takes very minimal effort, if any at all, because Tusa naturally likes him. And you may see, most of the time when I'm showing stuff with Tusa, I'm specifically working with him, so we are seeing a very good relationship of ours. Today you might see a little less tolerance for me because he's back to liking Dave the most. He's also a little bit not content right now. He really wants to be outside with the other birds because I just moved the aviaries outside. So he'd rather be in the sunshine right now versus inside with me filming a video. Happening? Do you want to come? Nope. Okay, so I'm going to show you what it means to be, oh thanks, the lesser person. The other thing is he literally just had breakfast, so instead of working before breakfast like I should be, I'm asking him to do something he doesn't necessarily want to do after breakfast, where there's little incentive. So, yeah, so that's his grumbly, I don't want to come to you. Will you wave? Just, will you wave? Nope, not even waving. Okay, will you come? Thank you. You do this? Whoa, we go upside down. Good boy. So this is the latest thing that Tusa and I are working on. He will do it for Dave. I think Dave tried it the other day and had success.
He just hasn't really done it for me. Good. Oh, would you look at that? It's trained.
What kind of macaw is Tusa? He is a Camelot macaw, which is a type of hybrid. Is that correct? From the front, he looks a lot like my other Camelot macaw, COMET, but Tusa is a blue-green dominant Camelot macaw, which means he's mostly blue and green on the back, whereas my yellow dominant Camelot macaw, COMET, is mostly yellow. So from the back, it's way easier to tell them apart. Whereas from the front, they both have this bright, bright orange chest, so it can be a little bit harder, but they're quite different in personality, so it's fairly easy to tell them apart, no matter what.
When and where did we get him? This was actually kind of cool because we got him from a breeder out of Florida who lets all the birds free fly, and whoever they mate with, they mate with. And so we got to pick out, there was a clutch of 3. There's Tusa, who looks more like a Catalina. Then there was COMET with the gold, and then there was a third one with red on his back, and he was more of the scarlet look. And so we got to pick them out, and I still remember we had this picture. We were on a cruise ship and we bought them, we picked them out, and we had this picture printed out on our wall forever until we got off the ship, and then they were sent to us in Florida where we raised them. So the next question is, what can he say? He only says one thing. We'll see, can we get you to do it? Hello. Hello. Of course not. He usually does it when we first get him out of the cage, and he's super excited to see me, and we can usually like re-stimulate him just like doing what I did, but it didn't matter today. He didn't care. But that's all he says. Hello. I'm sure everybody's seen him. Oh, hello. Hello.
Now you guys did ask what are some things that are unique to Tusa. One is he's obsessed with shirts and textures, and he will pull at your clothing, which I find it a little bit endearing. Some people might find that super annoying. Just kind of depends on what your preference is, but he's the only one that does it out of my entire flock.
He goes with this mode anytime if we have him loose in the car with us, in the truck, and he will just do that the whole time, but it gets louder and louder, and it's just like this I don't know, almost a self-entertaining, obnoxious squawk that is like this and louder for hours. He's probably the most like baseline of all of our birds. He doesn't really have these mood spikes or energy spikes. He's pretty consistently awesome. And I don't know how to answer that. Does he have any bad habits? Yes. He makes that really annoying noise on car rides.
Also chews on his leg band.
Oh yeah, sometimes if you're just sitting there, he'll put his leg band in his mouth and just spin it. And it's just like grindy.
What is Tusa's favorite activity with Comet? That's probably when they're outside preening or having a bath. Although, you know, just preening because they usually argue over who's getting the most water for a bath.
Yeah, who asked that? How big are their poops and how often do they poop? What about you? Like, I would say, hey, can you hand me that lens cap?
We'll show it next time. Let's just show it next time.
That's disgusting. I would say that when it splats on the floor, it makes a circumference about the size of this lens cap. You gonna poop? He pooped, if you want to see what it looks like. You're curious.
Oh, that was a small one. That was a small one.
There you go.
So this question is asking if Tusa screams when I leave the room. So if I leave the room, he will make a contact call. So I'll see if I can actually get him to do that now for you guys. It's not super loud, but it's just enough that he's kind of wondering where I'm at. So I'll put the camera on him and I'll walk out so you guys can hear. And depending on what I do in return, determines what he does and how loud he is. So that's the first one. Now, so that was just his basic little contact call, wondering where I'm at. If I full on him and go somewhere where he wants to go with me, he will yell, and I'll show you what it sounds like. Aviaries without him. So yeah, he can get loud. You guys ever wondered? That's what happens. So yeah, the first time that I left and just got his basic contact call, I just went into my room. I didn't shut any doors. I didn't go very far. He knows the layout of my house, so he knows where I was. The second time that I knew it would really get him to freak out was I acted like I went out to the aviaries with all the other birds, and he wants to go out there really bad right now. So he was pissed. Yeah, so it's a little demo. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
What are Tusa's hormonal triggers? And that actually kind of got me for a second because I've never seen him hormonal. So clearly it's not me.
So the other question is, does Tusa preen Comet in the areas that Comet can't reach? Yes, they are best buddies. That doesn't mean that they get along 100% of the time, but for the most part, they're super, super good together. So I do house them together so that they can preen each other every once in a while, just kind of hang out. And then I do house them separately so they have their alone time as well. And I try to do it before they give me any indication that they're sick of each other or growing tiresome of each other's company.
Is Tusa a jealous bird? No. He's super mellow, and he's like this whether I've got 80 other birds on me or no other birds.
Is he beaky? Does he bite more than your blue-throated macaw? He's beaky in the sense that I don't normally wear these types of shirts around him, but I thought I would show you what it looks like. He will grab onto little buttons. He's just obsessed with clothing, and he's doing it as a means to get my attention. He is trying to communicate to me like, hey, take me outside. I want to go out. I want to be outside in the aviary. I want to be with everybody else. What do I have to do to get your attention, human? So he is pulling on my shirt like a little kid would pull on your sleeve or pull on you to get your attention. He does do that.
The next question is, does Tusa interact with Capri? And there have been some interactions, but I have to say that she's more intimidated by him than she is the medium size and smaller. So I would say give it another year or less, since she's already been skydiving, because she's crazy. But I don't know. You don't really, I don't think you're intimidating. I think she'll be interacting with him this year. That's gonna be my goal, actually.
What trick do you find the cutest of all of his tricks? I think it's going upside down currently because it was a huge breakthrough for me, and he looks so vulnerable like that I really like it. So somebody asked if our 60-40 rule is hard to maintain with Tusa, and I would say it's hard for me to remember not to overdo it. There was one point in time where I was working on Tusa going on his back so much that in my mind it was hard for Tusa because it's very emotional and it's very vulnerable for him, and I'm not his favorite person, so it probably would have happened more easily if Dave would have trained it. But I was working on it consistently, and it was actually backstage when Dave went to get Tusa ready for a show, and Tusa didn't want to go to him, that Dave's like, you've taken it a little far. So I hadn't realized how much it was making the bond between me and Tusa really, really strong. And on that same trip, we of course tied in a free flight trip, and Tusa was only really wanting to land on me. So it had actually caused a little bit of a problem just because I have all of our other birds who like to land on me as well, and it was just becoming really hard to hold all of them at once, and then Dave literally had nobody, and I was like, I'm so sorry. So it can be hard to maintain just when you forget how the balance is changing. But for the most part, if Dave just makes minimal effort, it'll come back. It just happened to be that I had a lot more downtime with him backstage. We were doing a lot of shows. It was happening a little bit more consistently, where normally my training sessions with him are a tad bit more sporadic. I will show you guys one more time his trick of going upside down because he's doing so good. Oh, so good. He's not letting go of my hands yet, but we'll get there. Oh, bud, you're doing awesome. So I'm gonna take him out to the aviary where he's wanted to be this entire time. And I'll take you guys with us so you can watch. All right, finally finished the video. We're going outside. Conures are excited to see you. Woo. Let's go. Woo. So happy. Is that better? Is that better? I'm gonna get some sun, some fresh air, some water. And there's his brother, watching what he's doing. Where was he, Comet? Where'd he go for a while?
All right, so the final question was, how do we choose his name? And being entertainers that worked on ships, we scuba dived a lot. And Tusa is a brand of scuba diving gear. And so for us, it's kind of important that most of our birds have unique names. CRESSI is a scuba diving name. It's an Italian brand that's really cool. And yeah, so he's named after scuba diving gear because we figured there's probably no other parrot out there with that name. So it's kind of a unique name. And yeah, that's all I got for you. Oh, 8. You're 12. He's 12, not 10.